picture is worth 1,000 words, but perhaps some are worth even more than that. Photography, despite being a relatively recent development, has made its mark on history by proving its value in capturing events that otherwise would have been lost to time. Some of these old photographs are merely curious mementos of a bygone era, while others might seem downright unbelievable. Whether it be a mysterious ghostly image or a snapshot of something truly bizarre, historical photographs provide a window into a world that is long past and allows us to experience second-hand history, even if it doesn't quite make sense in the modern day. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 instances of odd photography from years past that might leave us with more questions than answers. Mysterious ghost hand in historic photo of linen mill workers. It's easy to find traces of a ghostly presence in some historic photos, with their grainy quality and blurred lines, but these anomalies can be easily explained by the imperfections of the film itself. However, sometimes there is photographic evidence that is much harder to dispute. One such example is a photo from 1900 of 15 young women who were workers at a linen mill in Northern Ireland, arranged in rows with their arms crossed over their chests. All of the girls have their hands tucked underneath their arms, but one girl has a claw-like disembodied hand wrapped around her neck, resting on her shoulder. The hand appears to be coming from someone standing next to her, with an arm thrown around her as if around a friend. However, the truly ghostly part is that the girl is positioned at the end of a row, with nobody next to her. The hand is very clearly defined, and upon zooming in, even has sharp details such as shadowing and fingernails. The only girl behind her has her arms tightly crossed, and there is no explanation for where the hand could possibly be coming from. The girl and her companions appear to be entirely unfazed by the presence of a disembodied hand and seem to be entirely unaware of the spectral visitor in their photograph. One of the strangest elements of the photo is that the shape is clearly and undoubtedly a hand, but the lack of a ghostly body attached to the hand cannot give any clues as to the identity of the supernatural photobomber. Skeptics claim that the almost too perfect form of the hand is the result of a skilled Photoshop job or an optical illusion. While it seems unlikely that such a distinct image could be the chance result of light hitting the camera at an odd angle, the Photoshop explanation is more probable, as the photo surfaced after being submitted to a website by a woman whose grandmother was pictured and who claimed that the photo was a family ghost picture. The woman who submitted the picture stated, "I don't really believe in ghosts, but there have been a few odd goings-on around this photo, so I hope this does not cause any more." However, she did not clarify what exactly the odd goings-on could be, and some speculate that the whole thing could be a clever hoax. So, is the photo a trick, or was there truly a ghostly presence lurking around these mill workers that day the photo was taken? We will likely never know and can only wonder at its strangeness. A picnic at Los Angeles' California Alligator Farm. The 20th century was a very different time for many reasons, not the least of which was captured in photos found of the Los Angeles, California Alligator Farm. This park, which operated from 1907 until 1953, consisted of over 1,000 alligators housed in 20 different ponds that the guests were encouraged to enter in order to interact with the animals. There were no safety barriers to protect the guests from the gators, who frequently measured over 15 feet long. Signs warned visitors to not throw stones at the alligators, punch or touch them in any way, but that appears to be the extent of the safety precautions, and photos show groups of people picnicking in the shallow waters with gators swimming around the table. More photos depict other activities that put visitors in close contact with the dangerous animals in ways that are almost unbelievable in the 21st century. In fact, interaction with the beasts was thoroughly encouraged, and photos show adults and children alike holding, petting, and even lying next to the alligators. The farm was owned by Francis Ernest and Joe Campbell, who captured and bred the alligators and charged visitors 25 cents apiece to get up close and personal with the creatures that we now recognize as incredibly dangerous and volatile. The two men handled every aspect of the park, from capturing alligators from the wild, breeding them, incubating their eggs, and exercising them to maintain peak health. They trained the gators to perform tricks, and gators at the park would go down huge slides, consume live chickens in front of an audience, and even wrestle with volunteers from the audience. Visitors could also purchase live baby alligators from the store's gift shop, alongside handbags and accessories made from the hide of less fortunate members of the park. Needless to say, California Alligator Farm existed in a world before lawsuits, safety regulations, and animal protection laws, during a time when providing dangerous and thrilling experiences to the public was big business, and as dangerous as it certainly was, it seems that none of the visitors truly appreciated the risks that they were taking. These days, most people would never willingly go near such volatile beasts, and the alligators that do exist in captivity do so far out of reach of any innocent bystanders. It's hard to believe that such a place ever existed, let alone within the last century. Yet photos that have surfaced prove just how involved the public was in this strange park. One photo shows an infant sitting in the middle of an enclosure all alone, totally surrounded by baby alligators. Another shows a small child standing as if totally unfazed in front of almost a dozen fully grown gators, and still others depict fully grown adults and even children riding on the backs of the animals with specially made saddles and reins. Shockingly, the park closed due to dwindling business that decreased profits and not because of a forced closure brought on by an unforeseen accident, and it is not clear whether any injuries were sustained at the park as a result of such close exposure to the dangerous animals. The existence of the park is almost unbelievable were it not for the photographs, which goes to show once again that a picture truly is worth 1,000 words. Guillaume Benjamin Amand Duchenne Experiment in Electrophysiology. Guillaume Benjamin Amand Duchenne was a doctor, neurologist, and researcher in the 19th century whose greatest contribution to science is immortalized in a series of bizarre photographs. Duchenne was fascinated by the involuntary contraction of minuscule facial muscles to convey our emotional meanings and mental states, and was certain that discovering which muscles were triggered by which emotions would lead to insight into the unconscious mental well-being of the individual. He then set out in this vein to create a sort of emotional roadmap using the facial muscles to uncover the unconscious soul of man and thus determine whether or not feelings could be truly feigned in the facial muscles. He did this through methodical experimentation in which he used electrophysiology to stimulate different facial muscles to contract in sync with a camera lens, capturing the resulting facial expression. The result was a series of photographs of individuals who are clearly displaying exaggerated and almost bizarre emotional reactions brought about by these muscle contractions, proving that the involuntary use of these muscles was indeed impacted by emotion. Duchenne believed that an aesthetic study of the muscles involved in these emotional expressions would benefit artists and performers as well as scientists, claiming that he had captured an idealized naturalism in the same manner of ancient Greek sculptors. He believed in the holistic benefit of studies of the raw emotion that he had captured, so much so that when he published his photographs and the resulting findings in his book, The Mechanism of Human Physiognomy, he went so far as to divide his conclusions into 3 sections: general considerations, a scientific section, and an aesthetic section. His work was surprisingly illuminative, and the photographs, which are grouped by emotion, allowed him to define 13 primary emotions and several fundamental expressive gestures, and associate each with its relevant facial muscle or muscle groups. The photographs were essential to these discoveries, as the facial expressions resulting from the electrical stimulation of the muscles were incredibly fleeting and could only be truly appreciated by being immortalized in film. In the course of his experimentation, Duchenne made many lasting contributions to science, including developing electrophysiology as we know it, discovering what is called the Duchenne smile in reference to the fact that only true emotions can cause small muscles in the eyes to crinkle into a genuine smile, and even discovering what is now known as Duchenne muscular dystrophy. However, these odd and sometimes grotesque photographs are likely one of the most well-known aspects of his work, and it is easy to see why. Today, the photographs that he captured appear to be living up to his intentions for them, as they are studied by scientists and artists alike. Some of the more interesting selections from his book have even been displayed in prominent art galleries across the world as an example of the fine line between art and science captured on film forever. But what do you make of these odd photographs and stories behind them? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.